That caught me off guard. I didn't know what to do with it.
That was a new one for you, Steve. In old news, a few weeks ago, probably a month ago at this point, someone made a guitar, reportedly, according to their own story, out of their uncle's human remains, out of the rib cage, spinal column.
This story is
hips.
like, this story is ongoing because he like said he was going to do it.
Sounds like a big old hoax.
And then he did it. And so the article actually that was mailed to us to talk about this is only like a week old, that article.
Right.
Vice.
I mean, it sounds like this guy is a serial entertainer. Like he's always coming up with stunts to do. Like there's a theory that he's this guy that made like a really tall hat for the Guinness World Book of Records. So yeah, he's been up to hijinks before, making tall hats and now making a guitar out of his dead uncle's remains. So apparently it's probably not really his dead uncle, and who knows where he actually got the bones from. Sounds like they're real bones maybe that were used for medical students or something. I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me.
They might, yeah. Who knows? I mean, you could distress a model that's not made from real bones to look like this too.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure this is Billy Cardigan. It's just a new persona.
I would not be surprised. Although I think this guy's in Florida and Billy Cardigan is not in Florida.
No.
Also,
I was actually for about 5 minutes, I was pretty sure Dave Hill and Billy Cardigan were the same person.
I feel like they should know each other.
They definitely should know each other.
Those two should get together.
You should introduce them. You know them both.
I'll introduce them to each other.
Yeah,
I'll definitely do that. Dave Hill, if you're listening, Billy Cardigan, if you're listening, I think you guys should know each other. I think you guys would be good friends. But anyways, I'm more interested in talking about, because he did actually make this guitar that features a rib cage and a spinal column. And is it the hips? Is it the hip?
The hips, the pelvis.
The pelvic bone. That's what I was looking for.
The top part of the pelvis.
Do you think he did it the right way is what I'm wondering.
Tonight, I'm a hip song, I'm starting to feel it.
Did he make a guitar out of human remains, right? Is my question. And if you were going to make a guitar out of human remains, what would your build style be? No answer from Steve. I would make a banjo, and the skin of the banjo would be human skin, Necronomicon style.
Oh,
it would be a haunted, cannibalistic banjo.
Oh my gosh. The bad thing is, I was thinking about like, there's like if you want to just use human remains broadly. It's like, there's probably something in here where there's like use the skin is like, it was like 2 weeks ago we had like a leather bound guitar.
Yeah.
Or like actually, speaking of Dave Hill,
why not make a guitar strap out of human skin, out of human leather? Why not that?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Buffalo Bill was the hero of Silence of the Lambs. He was just living his life.
Right.
He was like, just put the lotion on your skin. It's good for your skin.
Just someone living their life, not a cell phone in sight. I watched that movie in a hotel a while back.
So what's going on? This guy might be Rod Stewart. He definitely designed he maybe designed a 15-foot 9-inch tall top hat and walked the required distance of 10 meters while wearing it.
I feel like I could beat that. I think I could make a 16-foot tall top hat and beat him.
But can you walk 10 meters?
Yeah, I think I can walk 10 meters with a top hat on,
10
Steve.
10 meters is pretty far.
I'm pretty sure I walked 10 meters before. And maybe I wasn't wearing a top hat, and maybe it wasn't 16 feet tall, but I'm pretty sure I could make that happen. Pretty sure I could do that.
So we know this metal guy lives in Florida. Okay, so I would say like one of the problems is my original thought was to like use like the leg, the femur as the neck, as a neck. Now I guess he does have the neck as a literal neck, so that's punny enough.
There is precedent for there being musical instruments being made out of human skulls.
This isn't, you can't even play this.
No, it looks very awkward to play because the bridge is up inside of the rib cage, so you have to like wrap your hand up inside of the rib cage to strum the strings. And also he made it a Telecaster, which I feel like is the antithesis. Maybe that's like an extra joke from him, is like, I'm going to make a metal guitar made out of human remains. It's a Telecaster.
It's a Telecaster because the pickup mounts to the bridge.
That's enough to make something a Telecaster in my book.
But I'm saying like that's why, because the pickup mounts to the bridge. Like you have to do it that way.
Right.
Like
there's no material to mount the stuff into in a human skeletal system. There's not enough material.
No, he does also
to mount pickups.
He does
and
also
electronics
have
in.
a Telecaster plate for the controls.
I'm telling you, this is a Telecaster.
Are you telling me this is a Telecaster?
That's a Telecaster.
I've actively avoided this story until tonight.
I think that one of the things I don't like about it is it just feels like a continuation of the whole thing that's been going on for like 2 years now. Like, oh, I made a guitar out of colored pencils. I made a guitar out of jawbreakers. I made a guitar out of permanent markers. I made a guitar out of human remains. Okay. Yeah, these things get clicks on the internet. We get it. If I had the time, I'd do it too, but I don't feel like it, okay? I don't feel like making a mess and stinking up my house with resin, so I'm not going to do it. And then this guy comes along and makes one out of human... What's the next thing? I made a guitar out of a living animal. I made a guitar out of a
living animal?
Out of a turtle that's still alive.
That's mean.
I know, but that's where this is heading. This one-upmanship with these I made a guitar.
Have you seen that
people?
Have you seen the one where the guy has like a guitar, is from like the 70s. The guy has a guitar suit.
Yeah. It's like the moon headstock guitar.
Yeah, and I forget he was in like a big band.
Wasn't he in ABBA?
Was it? No.
Every time I see that guy, I'm like, oh, isn't that the dude from ABBA? But I think you're right. I don't think that's who that is.
Guitar suit, bass guitar suit, was musician Dan Hartman. I thought did it say what band he was? I thought he was in it. He's definitely,
I don't know.
Dan Hartman. His name is Dan Hartman.
His name is Dan Hartman.
Oh, he was in Edgar Winter.
Okay, there you go.
He was Edgar Winter's bass player, and apparently this thing didn't really work. They said it was like one of the first cordless guitars, but I guess because the wires were like inside the sleeves and stuff, the dude was getting like shocked all the time, like little 9-volt battery shocks, but still not a thing you want.
No, it doesn't sound convenient or practical.
I just don't know what to do with this. Like,
I mean, the biggest
body guitar thing.
It's clearly not a practical guitar. It's clearly like a stunt that he did because he knew it would get him attention.
Here we go. Flip the whole thing upside down. So you have your neck, and the headstock is like the neck is your tibia fibula. So your calf, your shin bones. The headstock is the foot. And then basically the body is still, the main portion of the body is the femur. But because the knee is still in place, you probably have to like employ a little bit of latex rubber here.
All right.
I'm
trying to visualize what you're talking about.
To like have the tendons.
Okay.
And so now your guitar body can flex down, and you can like if you need it to be a full size guitar, you keep the femur out, and you're full size guitar. If you need it to be a travel guitar, you just crouch. You basically crouch your guitar. You bend that femur in. Now you've got a travel.
How about
guitar.
a stand up bass that's made out of a full skeleton that's standing up?
See that? That's what I'm talking about. I'm in.
You know what? You can tell that this guy's not serious about this project, because if he was serious about it, he would have made it all out of human fingers, because that's where the tone is stored. Tone is in the fingers. Why wouldn't you make a guitar completely out of fingers if you want maximum tone, right, guys? Ridiculous. He's just doing a stunt. It's a
Maybe-
meaningless stunt. He
maybe,
didn't achieve anything. Make it out of fingers and then
What
you've
if
done
he
something.
what if he was like, he just heard it wrong and he made the entire guitar out of toes because he thought people were saying toad is in the
Toad is
toad is in the fingers. Oh,
it doesn't work.
tone is in the.
Are you saying tone is in the toes?
That I was trying to say toad is in the fingers, but then I realized after I worked the entire joke out that toes can't replace tones.
Right.
Toes is in the fingers.
Toes are in the fingers. This joke is DOA, Steve. I'm drinking this episode and I didn't even say that.
Somebody told me that I needed to drink more coffee before our show episodes because I ramble too much.
Would that stop you from
No,
rambling?
it would be worse. That's why that was my response. Is I was like, get that guy a coffee. He's always rambling, and like Ryan has to reel him back in. I'm like, coffee would be worse. I'd be bouncing off the flipping walls. Good grief! Or I'd just be like.
We are the way we are because we're not broadcast professionals. We choose to do this because it's fun for us, not because we're good at it. Okay. So just deal with it. You're dealing with an amateur, very successful podcast here.
The best kind.
But yeah, to me, it feels like this guy's doing a gag a bit to get, internet notoriety and fame and stuff like that. But to be honest, it's a fun gag, and
It's a fun gag.
I hope he didn't murder anyone to get this rib cage.
I mean, isn't like Guar is like they're all space aliens or something?
Yeah.
I don't know what this story. I don't know what the story behind like the masks and Slipknot is.
I think they're just shy.
So the idea of like creating characters for
Slipknot, the reason for the mask is because underneath their masks they're too attractive and they were afraid people wouldn't take them seriously. They're all underwear models in their real jobs. Slipknot is just like their gag thing they do on the weekends.
Yeah. The Wes Borland, from Limp Bizkit, he always had like the contact lenses and face paints and basically what I'm saying is like shtick is very much like in like theatrics.
Oh, I have no problem with shtick.
Kiss.
Yeah.
This is the only reason that this is a headline thing is because this guy's not famous. If Alice Cooper's guitarist came out and was like, "Yeah, this is my new guitar. This is my Uncle Skeleton."
You mean Nita Strauss?
We'd be, I'm thinking like back in the day, but sure. Now, Ivan has. I think what Ryan's trying to say is Ivan has his new signature Jiva guitar is actually made out of
human remains.
Human remains.
I mean, we've seen plenty of guitars that are sculpted to look like bones and skeletons and skulls.
And
that's
human bodies.
George Lynch thing, and human bodies. We'll get to that in a bit. This is the human body episode, guys.
How many bones are there? I don't know, like
disgusting.
309.
Do you prefer your guitars
206
with bones or boneless?
There's no such thing as boneless guitars, Ryan. Those are just chicken tenders that are cut into shapes.
Those are just guitar nuggets.
Guitar nuggets. Jeez.
Yeah, from now on, we have to tell people, "Oh yeah, I play boneless guitar." Oh, you play boneless guitar? Oh man, I don't touch a guitar that doesn't have bones in it.
You know who plays boned guitars?
Oh, where is this going?
All those idiots that name this is Sheila, my hot red Stratocaster.
I named this one after my second girlfriend because I like to feel rejected by her.
Somebody, I'm very, somebody totally, here's my ramble. Here's my 19th ramble.
He's rambling. Here we go.
Somebody, I think, asked you about naming guitars. And
is it Row or Row?
It's Row.
Ramblin' Row.
And you kind of had the same answer that I do is like, oh, yeah, this guitar back here, yeah, it has a name. Its name is Red Jaguar. It came from the factory with the name.
Right.
It was already named Red Jaguar.
Yeah, I name things, I refer to them by their brand, model, year or era or something like that. Like when I talk about my
I was going to
Duosonic,
be real embarrassed
I'm
if I
like,
turn around and that was a Jazzmaster.
I'm like, oh yeah, my 90s Mexican Duosonic. That's the name of it. That's what I call it. I have had names for a couple guitars. I like Big Red.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know what that was.
I don't know why I named it that, but it's just like, oh, here's Big Red. And I don't know, it stuck.
Because it was hot and spicy like cinnamon.
No, it's just red.
No.
And it's like, I don't think
Wasn't
I've
even
had
that big.
I don't think I've had a name for any other
Should
guitar.
have named it Small Red.
Yeah, it's not. It's a Lead 2 clone.
But I mean, yeah, that's like a, I don't know. Just the whole.
Remember when I stage dived and landed on that guitar, like a belly flopped on that guitar?
No, when was that?
At a youth group show that we played.
What youth group?
Years and years and years ago in your favorite band.
Yeah, we played a lot of youth groups. I don't remember that show.
It was in that upstairs.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I do. There's like that ceiling super low.
No, they had one of these stages that was really only like a foot off the floor. And I got really super worked up and I jumped off this.
Really super drunk.
I wasn't drunk at all. We were at a church youth group. I jumped off the stage and I like belly flopped onto the guitar, onto the ground. I don't know. I was in jackass mode or something. And I just fully landed it on it, my full body weight. I was like, wow, I wonder if I just broke this. And I didn't. It was fine.
Yeah. Guitar held up.
Do that, Phoebe Bridgers.
That was last week's episode.
Body slam a guitar at a youth group if you're so tough.
That's what you do when you know how to write songs like us.
No, it has nothing to do with writing songs because we did not write good songs.
I've got a job. I was thinking about that song the other day. We're moving on. I'm not writing this down. Whatever. I was thinking about that song the other day. One, I think I'm finally at a point where in my head it just doesn't make sense. I still want to have your favorite band reunion show, but I'm also like thinking of how ludicrous it is. How different it is when you're a middle-aged man singing about how you have a job
versus being like 22.
Yeah, like when you're like 22 and you're like, I went to college and now I have a job. I'm an adult. Deal with it. Versus being like 36 and being like,
no, it's going to be the same song, but it's going to be slower. I got a job. I've got a job. Yeah. I make money.
No, you should just make it to be like, how applicable it is now. I've got a job.
I'm just going to change it to I've got a mortgage. Yeah.
I don't.
I've got kids.
I make money to feed my kids.
Oh man, my kids have been destroying me lately. I've been like on the edge of mental breakdown thanks to those kids. Oh my gosh. Like my 2-year-old is taking it out of me. She's hit this. I think Henry did it. And now she's at that phase where I don't think she knows how to breathe without screaming. Like everything is a reason to scream, this blood curdling scream.
I mean, it's 2021, man. I think internally that's where most of us are at.
No, she's doing on the outside what I feel on the inside.
No, that's what I'm saying.
And it's too real. It's too much. Oh man, I am wrecked this week. Last week too. It's been an adventure. I'll say that.
1 week.
This ad was sent to us by. Did I put the name? Oh, Justin Shack. Shack?
Just says Shack, man.
How do you say that? Shack man?
Justin Shaquille O'Neal.
How did I got into a weird
Whatever.
place?
This is a Flying P, unknown brand, Flying V, with outside of Patrick soft toy taped to it. Happy to ship internationally. Please message me for a quote. So the listing on here is for to ship for $217.32 shipping. They're asking for $724.39. This is located in the UK, so that shipping is definitely just an estimate.
It's a Flying V that happens to have Patrick Star from SpongeBob, like a like a plush doll version of him
Yeah.
that has been gutted. This is the body issue that has been gutted and wrapped around a flying V.
And just looks like it's duct tape on.
Yeah. Well, I think that's honestly the best part of it is that this looks fully reversible. In the ad, I didn't even screen grab any of the copy because there really wasn't any.
No, I just read all of it.
Oh, okay. Did it say what the original guitar was?
No, it doesn't.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
Somebody like painted over the headstock looks painted over.
I have a feeling this is like it's either an Epiphone or it's like a Carnival flying V. And I bet this
Like
Patrick's
Carnival Cruises?
No, like, like a county fair carnival, like this, like a carny gave this to someone because they popped a balloon with a dart, or they got they knocked over the milk jugs. I think the guitar and Patrick Star came from the same place. They came from the same carnival.
Oh, that's actually not a bad take.
And there's no way this is worth 500 pounds because of that. Because I don't think this is an actual like good guitar underneath this. Is my guess anyways.
Well, I think it's a vintage Gibson.
Whoa!
And this is actually worth like $3,000. And here's my proof. All right, I don't know.
I will not be able to put anything there. There's no proof that I can put there, Steve. No, this is definitely like the prototype Flying V, the long lost prototype. This is what it looked like. This is where they got the idea for Patrick Star. Someone knew about this guitar.
This is the original. Both. This is what I don't know. This is the original Flying V. This is a 1956 Gibson.
Steve did not have to look up the first year of the Flying V to make that joke.
I don't know if that's the first year. I said 56 because I think the first year is 58. But because this is the prototype.
I don't know. I think this is a fun project.
Not for 500 pounds.
Without telling anyone the make and model of the guitar, there's no way to know its value.
This is like $100.
It's missing the truss rod cover. The headstock looks like it was spray painted.
Is this a Willa Hughes Flying V?
The tuners look cheap from the 3 pixels that I can see.
Everything looks cheap. It's got strat knobs.
This looks like one of those people that dresses up like Garfield in Las Vegas and gets drunk and lays on the ground.
Why does it have three knobs with only 2 pickups?
There's only 1 pickup as far as I can tell.
That's what I mean. Why are there 3 knobs when there's only 1 pickup?
Maybe it has a second pickup in the neck and they just
underneath the shirt?
Yeah, they didn't want to cut a hole in the eyes.
Underneath, not a shirt, underneath Patrick.
Well, that's why it costs 500 pounds is because it's got 2 pickups. A single pickup guitar would be worth maybe $75, but 2 pickups, 500 pounds.
All right, here's what this really needs. You got this Flying V, Patrick Star.
You need a Bo Diddley SpongeBob.
Bo Diddley SpongeBob.
Yeah, I knew where you're going with that.
Boom.
Yeah.
And you could maybe do a stratward.
Stratward? Yeah,
Stratward?
I could see that working.
No,
you got to do a Vox teardrop.
Okay,
for Squidward.
that could work.
Yeah.
That could work.
What are some other SpongeBob characters? Were you ever a SpongeBob fan, Steve?
I was too old.
I think I was too old. Too.
The squirrel. There was the squirrel thing. Squirrel girl.
I was open to SpongeBob as like a college kid when it came out, but then I went to like a house party. Well, someone was like house sitting. A friend of mine was house sitting, and I went over and we hung out, and everyone like just kind of stayed up all night. And we're just eating pizzas and partying and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And they put on SpongeBob like a marathon, like they had a DVD set. And this must have been like 2001 or something like that. And I sat on a couch eating pizza and drinking, absorbing SpongeBob for probably like 10 hours. Mm-hmm. And I was all full, and I'm still all full. I don't need any more.
All full of SpongeBob.
I don't need any more SpongeBob
but not of pizza.
That mega binge 20 years ago.
So I heard SpongeBob gives you ADD.
I already have it. What does that mean?
I don't know. No, there was like I mean, I guess I can kind of see how it works, but I guess they went and like looked at how the show is cut. and like the average scene length in SpongeBob is like so short that it's like I don't
Right.
it's some ridiculous like
you don't have to develop any sort of attention skills to watch it, and it's actually is detrimental to your attention
that's what
skills.
they try to claim anyway.
I don't think
know.
it causes
Pokemon gives you epilepsy.
ADD in that it gives you a condition. I think that if you just expose yourself to that style of entertainment for a long time, then you lose practice at holding concentration, which is different than you know, not having a condition in the first place.
That's fair.
Yeah. Like you could practice at attention and get it back.
I kind of want to see that set though, and I want them to all be like dismantled plushes of the flying pea, the squid, the drop word.
Yeah.
And what would the Bo Diddley, what would you call that?
The sponge diddly? I don't know.
Sponge Diddley.
The Bob Diddley.
Bob Diddley.
Yeah, Bo Diddley, Bob Diddley. It's right there, Steve, just waiting for us.
Not the Bo Bob.
The Bo Bob Diddley. Call it the Bob Fiddly.
Bob Fiddley?
Got to change both words a little bit.
Bob Fiddley. I get it.
SpongeBob Fiddly.
Yep.
I don't know. I kind of want to see a yellow Bo Diddley rectangle guitar now.
It probably exists.
That, in my mind, that sounds really sharp because usually they're red.
I feel like if there's a yellow Bo Diddley, someone would just turn it into a minion.
I want to see a gold sparkle, heavy, super
You
duper
want
metal
everything
flake.
to be gold, sparkle,
but that's
super
what I
duper
want to
metal
see
flake.
now. Is I want to see a Bo Diddley in that style.
I want to see.
I always wanted one of
I
those.
want to see a gold, sparkle, heavy metal flake Martin D28.
I do. You know I want to see that. I want to see every guitar in heavy metal flake gold sparkle.
I want to see a heavy metal flake gold sparkle Gibson harp.
That does sound pretty fun.
I'm trying to think of what the most ridiculous. like a Dan Electro choral.
That doesn't sound crazy. That sounds fun. I can't think of a single guitar that wouldn't look good in heavy gold metal flake.
I mean, I'm sure in your mind that, yeah, you're right. It doesn't exist. Freaking BC Rich 10.
Oh, yeah. Why not? Every single guitar should be the standard color that they all start in, and then you go from there.
An Ovation. What's the Balladeer? Just the back, everything is gold metal.
Yes.
Flake.
Well, the back I want
Just
to be
black-
made out of
black.
actual gold. A bowl of gold.
Let's see. I just can't think of any like terrible.
I mean, it's like it's like my own personal Portlandia joke. Like instead of putting a bird on it, just put a gold sparkle on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want a gold sparkle Roadcaster.
Oh my God.
Sinusoid had that gold cable
Why didn't you
that they
buy
were
one?
posting around. I thought about it.
You should get
I have enough cables, but I legitimately
You
thought
should get
about
one,
it.
but it'll just be for your mic.
Oh, I don't want it for my mic. I want it for guitar.
Oh.
I'm gonna start. My worship pastor hit me up. It's like, hey, you want to start playing again? I was like, yeah, I do.
Oh, cool.
But they're still doing outdoor services. But I'm looking forward to playing.
Speaking of which, that could be my what's new, but it's not going to be my what's new.
Are we doing what's new now?
No, we're not. Well, we could. I'll save it for after. We'll do what's new after this, and we'll come back to what you
do
just said.
sponsorship.
This week's first episode sponsor is Big Boom Ear Boom Pedals. Grant and Karen make pedals. They make these pedals right here. The Loaf, the Albert, and the L.
Mm-hmm. They also make the wood cutter.
Yeah.
They also make the Black Betty and the Betty White. You should go check out their full range of pedals.
Not the Buff Daddy.
They're good friends of the show. They help us out. They support us, and they're our best friends. So go help out Grant and Karen by supporting the business that supports the programming that you love. Go buy yourself an Albee. It is a curated multi-effect pedal, jam-packed, full of ambient, new wavy sorts of modulated time-based effects. You're going to love it. Go watch some demos of it. You could watch mine. You could watch someone else's. It's up to you. So anyways, huge thanks to Big Ear Pedals.
Go check them out. BigEarPedals.com.
Yep. So what's new, Steve?
What's new is this isn't really what's new, but you made me think about it. What the thing you're saying is the new sound guy at my church, I guess knows. I think he watches the show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Subscribes to the channel. And what I realized is, I don't know if he.
Now you have to find a new church.
I know. I don't know if he knew about us before, but because he was the sound guy at First Pres, where they did the San Diego meetup last year.
Gotcha.
That I think you co-hosted.
Yeah, I attended it. I was there.
I saw on the invite that you were the co-host.
I didn't have any duties, but I was there.
Did you make a duty?
I did not make a duty there. No. I might have made a pee-pee. I don't remember making a duty. Why are we talking about this?
Because it's the body episode.
This is the body episode.
I don't. So that's it. That's all I got new. Oh, we got these books.
Oh yeah,
so I got these books. So it's called California Pop: The Evolution of a Mid-Century Subcultural Southern California by Dorian McDougall, one of our listeners, right?
Yeah, he wrote this book and he sent us 2 of them. I skimmed it a little bit.
Yeah.
I handed it to you tonight, Steve, so Steve will go skim it a little bit.
Yeah, it looks cool. It's about Southern California culture and
in like the mid-century 60s and stuff like that.
That's actually looks like a book I would actually enjoy reading. I have a lot of books on a pile that I'm like, I'll read this someday. But this one I might put on the top of that pile. Probably.
I don't know how to read.
That's true. You don't.
It's not actually. I am literate. I
barely.
I've never been someone who reads for entertainment outside of like short articles and stuff like that. So I don't know. I can read, guys. Believe it or not. I suck at spelling, but I can read.
You read all those comments of people making fun of you.
I do read a lot of comments where people make fun of me. So thank God I can read so I can experience those.
Yeah. What's new with you, man?
Do I have a what's new this week? I don't know, man. I'm just living life, trying to survive. You know,
aren't we all?
Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Do you want to do this next topic type thing? This boxes thing?
Yeah, we'll do this boxes thing.
This might be a shorter episode, guys. This was sent to us by Michael Krause. It's basically a copy pasta, like.
What is the root of that copy pasta?
Okay. Oh, of the word copy pasta?
Yeah.
It's just a big jumble of word mess that you just drop into a group or a forum to just be like, I'm a dick. Here I go.
All right. Well, Michael Krause wants us to talk about boxes, saving of boxes, obsession of boxes, and how a quirky little thing has gone too far. This was a quote comment. Oh, this is actually something that he copied and pasted.
Right.
This was a comment posted on a local Gear Swap page, and I'll post it here, hoping that it will be read by one of you and add 10 minutes to the podcast. Save your boxes. Isn't that like a JHS thing?
Yeah, he loves his boxes.
What does he say? He's like, I got the box.
I have the box. He's got a box. He's got one of the boxes, guys.
Do you save all your boxes?
Yeah, if I get something in a box, I save the box because I know I'm going to sell it eventually. It's not because I care about the box. It's because I know it's easier to sell things when it has the box, even just for shipping purposes, because I ship everything in padded envelopes.
Do you think Josh saves the box because it's like a obsession?
No, I think Josh likes to get the boxes because he's collecting vintage gear, and it's like, oh, I've got an extra piece of the vintage gear. It's like if you got a vintage Strat and it came with the case and it still had all the case candy in there.
We've talked about people selling like vintage Fender cardboard boxes.
No, there was someone selling a Martin box.
Oh yeah, we
remember that thing?
And
it was like a $300 Martin box.
All right, save your boxes. When a flood in Boston in the early 1990s hit the basement storage in my brownstone rental building, I lost over 20 years of boxes from guitar pedals and rack mount gear. Gone was a complete set of 1970s MXR effects boxes, 11 in all. I had kept these since the late 1970s. Gone was the box for the original Proco Rat. I thought those came in wooden crates. I don't know. Virtually impossible to find now. Gone was... No, I'm not thinking of EHX. Someone's going to be like, he's thinking of EHX. EHX came in a wooden box. I'm not thinking of that.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong about Proco.
He wouldn't dare think
Gone was
about
a set of boxes from the late 1960s, early 1970s effects. Fox, Mutron, Vox, and more. That was a very black day. I have always kept my original boxes for not only all my pedals, but amps. What? and stereo equipment as well.
Oh, man.
Collectors will often pay a premium for pedals and other gear that comes with the original box. Over time, the boxes will become harder and harder to find. When I part with a piece of gear, I always price it higher if I have the box. This has consistently and always paid off. I price box items 20 to 40% higher.
Well, that's bonkers.
Sometimes more than the going rate. It does often require patience, yet I have never not sold a higher priced piece of gear with the original box. Few save their boxes. It is typical to find guitar pedals, even those in the highest demand, even those less than a year old, and even the more mass-produced ones for sale used without the box. I will often not pay the going price for these and will wait to find one in the original box, even if it costs me a bit more. I know when I turn these around, I'll make the money back. Pedal boxes, even for pedals produced in large numbers, do not take up much room and can often be stored in a single large... I don't disagree with that. I took a big plastic Tupperware kind of thing. It's like, it's short, but it's long. It's like for putting under a bed. And I put all my guitar pedal boxes in that, except for the ones that actually have pedals in them. I kept those in the house. Even better, storing your pedals in the original box prevents scratches, spills, and other hazards from damaging these and lowering the value when not in use. Sir, all of your boxes were destroyed in a flood. If your pedals were in them, they would have been destroyed too. Even if the pedal looks like a basket case, if it is collectible and in the box, it can command higher prices than a clean example without a box. Which one is basket case?
Really sick of hearing the word box.
What? Which one is basket case?
I don't know.
I can only think of Welcome to Paradise.
All right.
If you had asked he in the 1980s if I thought original Boss made in Japan pedals would ever be collectible, I would have laughed. Not only were these produced in fairly large quantities, they were easily found. Over time, however, the best gear gets used. It gets beat up. Many examples of the most wanted pedals become harder to find. Now in the box, these pedals can demand often ridiculous prices. I have bought trash pedals just for the Boss.
Long ass copy pasta.
I can then place a much cleaner example I find in the box and demand a much higher price. There are many Boss collectors all over the world. They consistently pay more for boxed pedals. On that terrible day, I also lost the original box for the first issue Ibanez 808. I had bought it in a music store the same year it was released. When my guitar teacher said if you want to add a little overdrive, try this. No big deal, right? It took time to reach high demand. Even in the late 1990s, one could find a mint example for $50. I still own the pedal without the box. $1,000 is not a rare price point for an early 808. Save your boxes. Not only do not store them in a basement if there's any possibility of flooding, which there always is if there's a water heater or clothes washer there. Now I have an old dresser I bought just to store pedals in the boxes. The larger boxes for rat gear and others I keep in my attic. I do keep mice traps all around the collection. They have to go somewhere after all. And I learned higher ground is better.
This guy's house is going to get taken out by a tornado. And he's like, no, my boxes.
And then he's going to...
I should have stored them underground in a bunker.
Then he's going to take all of his boxes and put them in like a safe because the tornado won't be able to lift his like 500-pound safe.
He's going to buy this gigantic like bank safe and it's just going to be full of empty pedal boxes. I'm all for saving pedal boxes because they're small and, for the most part, most people don't have, dozens and dozens and dozens of them. Most people have, 10 or something like that. And you can store that, no problem. But amp boxes, I'm not going to keep amp boxes.
Right.
Guitar boxes.
That was the point where I was like, come on, man.
I keep a couple guitar boxes so that I can ship out other guitars, not because I'm storing them for resale value. But you know what? Like there is he's talking about collectible stuff. And it's like, if you bought a pedal and you're going to keep it for 50 years, like you probably aren't going to want to sell it after 50 years because you've already kept it 50 years. So like the box is like not really that important.
Well, I think the other side of that is I can see that again, the value for certain things. The consumer, I guess I don't put like pedals in the same category as consumer electronics. They kind of
if
are.
you keep the box for the VCR you bought in the 80s, you're a psychopath.
Yeah, you're a hoarder.
Right.
Like you're
like every time I buy a new computer, I keep the box in the attic for like a year just in case it
that being
breaks.
said, like I mean, I guess you don't know what pieces of whatever are going to become the next mini disc.
Right.
Like I'm sitting here looking at a Roadcaster going like, the Roadcaster's cool. It's super great for what we do. Is it still going to be super cool and great for what we do in 10 years?
Is someone going to care when I try to resell it and I don't have the box for it?
You know, when
I probably do have the box for
when
somewhere.
when Rode comes out with, Roadcaster 4, is anyone going to care about whether or not you have the box for your original Roadcaster?
Just isn't going to sound the same if you're using a later Roadcaster. You got to get the original Roadcaster. The version 1
with Aphex on board.
Yeah, or you're just not going to get that sweet podcast tone.
Class A servo biased preamps. I don't know what those words mean. I mean, like I said, it's a cool piece of equipment. It works great.
Yeah.
But,
I think for pedals, the reason to keep the box isn't. I mean, collectability is fine, and if you're shopping for a museum piece to complete your Tube Screamer museum for some reason, fine, go for the box. But for most people, the practical thing is like, if you sell it on Reverb or eBay, you're going to be shipping it probably in a padded envelope, and it would be nice to have some cardboard in there around the pedal.
It's practical.
So why not keep the box, especially if you're someone who buys and sells all the time? Of course, keep the box.
Yeah. The other side is like, I know for your Affordable pedals, you don't keep the box.
No, I'm not going to keep boxes.
And it's like 50 generic, like all the boxes are the same. They're all generic.
What I do with those,
boxes.
Eventually when I sell them, distribute them, whatever I do, I'm still going to throw them in a padded envelope, but I'll probably just grab a chunk of cardboard that I have around here, cut a strip, and wrap the pedal in cardboard.
I wouldn't even do that.
And tape. I'm not going to ship it loose, rattling around in a bag.
Just take the pedal, put it into a padded envelope, roll that up.
Do the double envelope.
Do the double envelope, triple envelope.
I always like to put a little bit of
Paul Pennington method.
I like to put a little bit of cardboard in there when I don't have the box, just to, pad stuff.
Well, you're wrong.
Well, the first time I ever sold a pedal online, it was one of those big Fuzzbright things.
Oh,
not an original Fuzzbright. This is a Fuzzbright clone.
Yeah.
I had no idea how to ship anything. I went to the post office and I'm like, I'm supposed to ship this and I'm not quite sure what the process is. The guy at the post office grabbed it out of my hands. He threw it in an envelope, no box or anything. And and he was like, what's the address? I was like, well, I guess this is happening. I guess I'm shipping it without a box or anything. Like I was hoping that they would have boxes.
Did it show up broken?
I could buy. No, it shipped. It got there fine. But I was so green at shipping stuff. I had no idea what I was doing. Sometimes I wish I kept that pedal. I didn't understand what it was yet, but I had fun with it.
Did you ever try to hunt it down?
Well, if I'm going to buy a pedal, I'm probably not going to buy a pedal I already had. I'm going to buy something I've never had. So, and there's other Fuzzbright clones out there that I'd probably want to check out more. So, I don't know. Hey, guys, keep your box if you want to. It's not the end of the world if you don't. Like, don't
Fuzzbrights,
like
Fuzz Light.
Don't
first fuzz I fuzzed tonight.
I think you should. I think just generally, music instruments, buying them as speculative investments is a dumb idea.
I just can't imagine writing this long of a wall of text ode to friggin' Tube Screamer 808 box.
Like I can imagine writing this, but I can also imagine getting halfway through and be like, okay, I'm drunk right now. I'm going to delete this.
Yeah, I can imagine writing this, but I can also imagine like having the power of invisibility and flight. So
yeah, I can imagine a lot of things. I can imagine eating a pizza the size of the moon. That doesn't mean I'm going to do it.
That's a great comparison, Ryan.
Yeah, a little bit of a rewind to what's new. I've had to move all of my 9-volt batteries out of the drawer that I keep them in my office, because my 2-year-old daughter, who likes to, I think she's got a bit of a engineer's mind. She's figured out how to connect things and how to like press buttons and mess with stuff. She figured out that she can connect 2 9-volt batteries together.
Is that a bad thing?
Yes, it is, because when you do that, they get very hot because they're feeding electricity into each other. And so I come into the office, she's holding 2 9-volt batteries connected to each other. And I'm like, oh, that's bad. She had a big old grin on her face. I grabbed it and it was like burning red hot.
She was probably cold, dude.
I was like, you are going to start a fire if I leave you unattended with these batteries.
Your office is on the north side of the house. It is the winter in Southern California, so your office is probably cold. You have a giant window in there. She was probably cold. She's like, Daddy, warm me.
Oh, yeah. She was freezing.
Oh.
It must have been 64 degrees.
She should have gone to Cancun like Ted Cruz.
In this frigid house. That's old news when this episode drops.
It's not as old as Skeleton Guitar.
That's true. That's true. I hope it's warmer in Texas.
Yeah.
When this episode drops. Good luck on your journey. I'm just saying, next time you guys want to dump.
I didn't know that thing about 9-volt battery, because I used to do that when I was a kid, and I don't remember ever noticing it.
I think you have to leave them connected for a while.
Okay, I would just do it, and then I would undo it.
No,
I just do it like Legos.
If you leave it connected, it's feeding power back into the battery, and they get hot.
But it's just going in a circle.
It would do that. No, it would do that if you shorted this. If you put a wire across this, this battery would get hot, or the wire would get hot.
It's never thought about it. I guess I never did it long enough. I've never done the just do the old engineer's trick. Just put, not sure if your 9-volt battery is good enough for your pedal. Just lick it. I've never licked a 9-volt battery.
You have never licked a 9-volt battery?
No, dude, I'm not licking.
Stick out your tongue. Stick out your damn tongue, Steve.
All right.
Stick out your tongue, lick a 9-volt battery. Come on, we're filming right now. People got to see you. The first time you had to hold it there a little bit.
No, I can feel that. Yeah, that's a thing.
We're not going to see your skeleton. Just hold it there for a second. See, now you're addicted.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Okay, that's your battery now. You're taking that home with you.
Send this to this week's other sponsor.
Hey, who wants to buy a 9-volt battery licked by Steve? There you go. Put that on eBay. I can't believe you've never licked a 9-volt battery before.
I've never had the desire to.
You don't have to want to do it. No one wants to do it. We just do it.
No, lots of people wanted to do it.
They love doing it.
They might have wanted to do it for ulterior reasons. Like, I'm sure we have friends who licked batteries because they're like, oh, girls will think this is funny.
Is that what girls think is funny?
No. But we have friends who thought girls would think it was funny.
All right. Huge thanks to Chaseless Audio, our next sponsor, for once again sponsoring this high quality, top shelf entertainment that you've been consuming. Chaseless Audio makes amazing pedals. The Thermae is one of my favorite delays on the planet. It does a really nice kind of like, it's an analog delay, but it stands up longer than like the darker, murky analog delays out there. And then it has this whole section that does pitch shifting, 2 different levels of pitch shifting on the repeats. If you want to get weird, you want to shift it up an octave, a fifth, a fourth, down an octave, a fifth, a fourth, and so on and so on. Sub octaves up and down, either way, your delay repeats are gonna go crazy. This is a set ender. This is a fantastic piece of engineering, and honestly, I love it. I love the Thermae. So go check out the demos wherever you find them of the Thermae. Go check out Chaseless Audio. If you've ever been thinking about buying a pedal to help support this show, go buy a Chaseless pedal and tell them that we sent you.
Go get on their email list so you know when the next round of Bliss Factories comes out.
Yeah, do that. I bought this. How much do I love Chaseless Audio? They send me a lot of stuff to do demos, but I bought this one. I used my money to buy this one. That's how much I love Chaseless pedals. When I buy something with my money, when a demo guy buys something with their own money, you should pay attention to that. I'm just saying. All right, this last ad. I don't know if I'm even in the mood for this.
These are sent by Greg Straub and Donald Straighten. I think they're just posted in the group.
Yeah, well, they were posted in my topic call out. They're titty guitars. They're guitars with breasts.
One
guys.
of them, it says, is actually from the top guitar players community. It says, found this Tittenbacker guitar for sale online for £1,500.
You have to admit that's a good name.
I'd feel a right tit playing this. I think that's a British slang.
I've never heard it before.
Maybe it's like a pun. I don't know.
I gotta say, this guitar looks like it's probably well built. It's got fan frets. Mm-hmm. It's got a really wild angle on that bridge to accommodate the fan frets.
Odd, but okay.
It's got one of those Bigsby Sorkin bridges on there and a Bigsby trim. The build of the body looks, it looks like it was made out of a really fine piece of wood. It looks like a really high-end build, honestly. And then they had to go and basically make it look like the way I looked in high school when I would wear a t-shirt in the pool. Like, I don't think this is necessarily gendered. I think this could just be Moobs situation.
I actually think it's more likely that this is reflective of male anatomy.
It kind of looks more like a man than a woman's body in, certain ways. It just looks like a roundish man.
Yeah.
With supple nipples.
I feel kind of seen by this.
Oh yeah,
not the chest part, not that part. I'm a pretty thin dude, but up across the shoulders, but I'm kind of round.
I'm thinnish now. I wouldn't say that I'm a big boy now. I wouldn't say that I face the life realities that the true big boys out there face. But throughout my life, I've had a few heavy phases, and I think this accurately represents places I've been in my life, especially when I was a teenager. I had some thicker times in my life. I had some thicker times in my adult life too, and this feels very familiar to me.
This other one that you got here, which has a Fender...
No, this one clearly has
some kind of Fender neck
representations of women's breasts on it.
But even this, like, it's almost like weirder. It's like simultaneously like it's like I see what they're going for. But
I don't think
like,
this one is done nearly as well.
I think it's like leaning Picasso, but because it doesn't go all in, it kind of loses.
If you're going to make a guitar with breasts, go all in, guys, is what we're saying.
I'm just saying it's like not... The other one has some anatomical validity.
Right.
This one is like the Bizarro World version of that, but it fails. It doesn't go all in for like, I'm just going to go all in and make this look real.
The whole reason this one exists is because someone wanted to make knobs into nipples. Like, that is the whole joke.
Like, the problem I have with this is this also looks like half of the robots on Futurama. Like, just with
it looks like eyes in the mouth.
Eyes in a mouth.
And a chin beard.
Yeah. Like, this could very easily be a member of the Robot Mafia.
You just give this a fun paint job and it changes from a naked lady guitar into a very fun cartoon guitar.
Yeah.
You pick up a nose and you paint a big smiling face on that lower part of the body there, and you paint big white circles around the nipples. You got yourself a cartoon guitar.
But this is weird. This isn't.
No, this second one is, there's a lot here that's not appealing.
And what I mean by that is, like, I don't mean this is weird. Like, why would you make a female figure guitar? It's like, it's weird in that it's not like Greek. It's you can't even, what I'm saying is I can't even look at this and be like, all right, like, this dude clearly has something wrong with them, but it's technically well executed.
Right. The execution is, there is some execution going on here. You can tell the person, it's not their first time working with wood, but it might be their first time working with sculpting a human form.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the curves in terms of guitar curvature, seem like they're properly curved. But again, this kind of like it almost leans.
You can also tell that the body was made by stacking wood to form the shapes and then carved away because the face of the breast is so flat.
Right.
Like they're not working from a very thick piece of wood. They were sandwiching wood together to get the shape and then carving roundness around it. And I'm not saying that breasts don't lay flat like that, because they certainly can, but you can tell what happened with the construction here. You know, there's ways that it's and things are connecting that feels
and
odd.
That's what I mean. This is almost like that's why I feel like this leans Picasso, like it leans into this thing where it's a skewed perception, but it doesn't go all in. And you know, part of what makes
you're saying it should go more abstract.
Yeah, it's like it starts to this almost starts like this kind of leans abstract, but because it doesn't go all in, then it fails.
Also, it's got a Fender, like a Newporter or something, acoustic neck on it, which is interesting. Where the other one is clearly like a fully custom piece.
Yeah. It's 1,500 pounds.
We don't know what they want for the other one with the flat boobies. It's in a pawn shop.
It's in some kind of shop.
So they probably want 1,500 pounds too. But if you offer $450, then you can go out the door with it because whatever.
Looking at this pawn shop, you've got that thing. You've got some kind of butterscotch telly. You've got a flying V. You've got a Jackson, weird shaped Jackson thing.
Some sort of ESP LTD thing back there.
Yeah, which one of these would you really want? I kind of like that Jackson. Jackson's got a neat look.
It's hard for me to say without seeing everything full bodied. This is the body episode. I don't know, man. Yeah, probably. You know, those Jacksons do have like a really funky extreme shape to them, but there's something about that ESP poking out back there, like the Explorers take ESP LTD sort of thing.
That thing looks kind of cool.
Speaking to me in the moment. We're talking about very fragmented pieces of guitar we're seeing at the edges of this photo here now. That's how boring this breasted guitar. If you make a guitar with breasts on it and is boring, you've done something very wrong.
Yeah, good grief, man.
All right, tell us about the song so we can get out of here.
We're going to do some housekeeping. Housekeeping is part of the show where we just say if you want to support the show, you want to help us make this fine content, head on
I'm
over
not
to
sure about this episode and last episode.
patreon.com/60cyclehumcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you can help support the show. Ryan's going to repaint this, maybe.
I've actually got a can of paint over there.
And
I just need to find the time on a weekend to do
it. Your
it.
Patreon monies paid for that paint.
Yeah, it was like $24. So thanks, Patreons.
Yeah. So,
no, you know what? The Patreons paid for our dinner tonight.
Yeah.
We like to do takeout on podcast recording nights. It means that myself or my wife doesn't have to cook a meal on podcasting night, which means that we can spend time with the kids before we start recording a guitar show and stuff like that, which makes life easier for us. It also means that there's food for us to eat every week. We also use that money for travel expenses, for production expenses, buying cameras. Buying all sorts of other stuff. There's fees that we have to pay for file hosting and stuff. And the Patreons make that all possible. So huge thanks to all our Patreons, old and new, future and past. If you can't Patreon us and you have to quit, we've never once been angry. We're always understanding. You want to be our Patreon for a month and then stop? That's beautiful. That's awesome. Thank you. So it doesn't have to be a long-term commitment, and we're thankful for everyone that contributes in any way. So let's listen to the song.
Yeah, this was sent by Harrison Karlin. It's called Dancing Spirits Entwined.
That's a well-produced little jam there.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fun.
I like the use of chorus. It really put it into like a time mood. Like it felt like, like late 90s sort of like vibe.
Yeah. You know what we haven't talked about in the last couple episodes?
What?
We got our first entry for the Unska My Song.
Oh, yeah, guys. Please send us. First, you got to record it. Go record a song, a cover song of a ska song, but unska it. We're doing an Unska My Song thing. Send us your entry before the end of March, and then first week of April, we'll listen to them all. Something like that. It's going to be fun. I'm going to figure out a prize. We're going to pick a winner. Maybe winners. We'll figure that out. So make sure you get on that.
Right now, there's only one entry, so
they're going to win.
Guaranteed winner.
Do you want to take your chances to see if you can beat the one entry?
Yeah.
We'll totally just listen to one song if that's all we'll get. I mean, we've already got one. That's a success in my book. So yeah, think about that. Go record an Unscod song.
It's just a short book.
And you know what? Stay grounded.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.